everybody. Hopefully, I don't know why my phone keeps going on and off charge for some reason. I'll take it off charge for a bit and then I can always put it back on. So hello everyone. We've got Paula just printing out my Hannah Lynn PDF. Swear I've had all week to do this. I know what you mean. I've been working on figuring out the skin tone for this page for the past week, and I'm quite nervous because it's a different palette than I would normally do. So I don't know what's going to happen. Hi Jenny, hi Mandy, hi Mary Jo, Hannah, Gemma, Sharon and Kim so far. Good morning from Australia, Rebel, brilliant. Hi Kathleen, hi Eileen. Just wait for a few more people to come in. Hope you've all had a good week. Hi Sass. Brit's in lurk mode. Hi Em. Thank you very much. Guess what? So I think last week, did I have the stick-on nails on? I think I did, didn't I? Because I ripped my acrylics off and my nails were horrific, so I put the stick-ons on. Well, these are the same stick-ons, but I've actually used, let me get it. So the story is, I went to the cemetery last week and the lettering on my great-grandparents' grave really needed doing. It used to be bright gold and now it's really faded and you could barely read it. So I took some gold paint up there and spent about 3 hours on a really hot day filling in all of the lettering, so it's all dead bright gold now. So when I came back, I had gold acrylic all over my nails, but only in bits and places, you know. So I didn't have enough gold left to actually paint my nails with the gold. So I've gone over it with the Arteza acrylic in electric plum purple, and that's what I've got on. And I mean, it's coming off a bit now, but yeah, that's what I've done. So I've just painted my nails with acrylic artist paint. So yeah, whatever works, right? Good morning from Tennessee, says Eileen. Oh, thank you, Kim. Hello, Lisa. Yeah, so that's the story of the nails for this week. Hopefully I'll be getting them done again before next Tuesday. So I'll have something different. We'll have to have a vote on what colour that I have them done, because I never know till I get there what I'm going to do. So yeah. Right, so it's just gone 7 o'clock, so let's get started. Before I do get started with our page, I just wanted to have a few words with you about, and she's in the chat as well, a lovely lady called Eileen. And Eileen has her own YouTube channel and Facebook group, and she goes live every single night of the year. So she goes live from 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. I think she's on for 3 hours. She did tell me and I've totally forgotten, of course. And it's every night of the year, including Christmas and Easter and like all the big holidays, Thanksgiving in America, you know, all the holidays, every single night of the year, she is live. And it's amazing really, because I can only sort of manage to do it once a week, but I would love to be able to come live more often to interact with everybody. Like that's what I absolutely love, is the interaction and, you know, figuring out how we're going to colour something, just chatting about our days and our interests and hobbies and stuff like that. So, yeah, I just wanted to mention that Eileen does have this channel where she goes live every single night, and it's brilliant for maybe people who are housebound, maybe disabled, can't really get out much, don't speak to many people, older people who don't really interact with people a lot. It's a space where you know that you can go every single night and talk to somebody while she's colouring. You know, you'll talk through what she's doing when she's colouring and just chat about anything really. But yeah, I just thought it was worth a mention, because it's worth knowing that if you're ever stuck or you're lonely or anything like that, there is a YouTube channel that is live every single night for 3 hours, every single night, 365. Eileen colours different pages and she shows you what she's colouring and how she's colouring it, and also why she's colouring it. So that's really important, because she'll put certain colours in certain places and she'll tell you why she's doing that, to draw the eye in a certain place across the page, you know. I'm probably explaining this really, really badly, but anyways, it's good to know. I thought it was really good to know, you know, that somebody is there. And maybe if there's somebody you know that's interested in colouring and they don't really interact with a lot of people, or they would really appreciate knowing about this, about Eileen being there every night, then tell them all about it as well. And I'm going to put the channel link in this description after the video so that you can go ahead and find her. But it's she's in the comments now, teaching adult colouring with Eileen Vick. So really it's just for anybody. So yeah, there we go. That's my little intro. Let's just read some comments. 3 hours, yeah, thank you, Eileen. I thought you were going to say you did the headstone in nail varnish. That might have been easier, actually, than doing it with a teeny weeny paintbrush. Hi, Jeanette. Mandy, Pierre. Can't stay all the time on holiday. Oh, in the Peak District. You're not far from me then, Jeanette. Yeah, so there we go. Let's get started then. Right, so we decided last week that we were going to colour this Grecian beauty from the book that I've now bound, as you can see. This is Whimsy Girls Around the World by Hannah Lynn. So as I explained last week, I bought a PDF of 18 of Hannah's books. I absolutely love Hannah's work. And I had all good intentions to print out all 18 books and bind them all. And then I realised just how much paper it uses to print out one book. I even had to buy bigger coils because the ones I was using, it was just too thick for them. So anyhow, I've printed the one book, we've got it bound, and this is the one that we're going to do. Now there is a simplified version in this book, which is this one here. So if you weren't wanting to do all of the fussy details around the bottom, and just wanted a bit more of a larger image, you can do the simplified one, but we're going to work on this one because we chose to do it. Now, so I was saying earlier that I've been working on skin tones, and I am really, really nervous about this live stream. I've probably dreamt about it. I've been thinking about it that much because I was trying out different skin tones. So I printed some of this exact face onto smaller paper, or I printed it smaller onto paper, and I thought I'll have a go at some skin tones while I'm waiting for the live. And this is the one that I had in my mind. This is, let me bring it up to camera. So this is one that's quite olive in skin tone. I thought if we're talking about ancient Greece, you know, this is the kind of skin tone that I imagine. Quite tanned, quite olive, almost greenish in a way, that, you know, that kind of skin tone. But I was practicing sort of a couple of others as well before I got to this stage, because this skin tone that I'm using tonight has got a colour that I don't think I've ever used in skin before, and that's artichoke, and it's quite greenish. And the process of doing this, I had to do lots of different layers and lots of burnishing, and then actually layering on top of burnishing, which you shouldn't do, you know. And eventually this came out, but it's not a done deal that I'm going to be able to recreate it tonight. So I am dead nervous. But yeah. So my girlfriend recently bought me the Beauty of Horror books. I'm currently working on them. Oh, you'll love them. I love those books. Right, so I'm going to get started anyway. So the pencils that we agreed to use were Prismacolor pencils, and I've picked 4 for this particular skin tone. The ones that I've picked are the Artichoke, which is 1098, Ginger Root 1084, Beige 997, and Eggshell 140. So they're the 4 that we're going to use for the skin tone. And really, I've just got to get started, haven't I? So I'm going to zoom you in. Let's get in the right place so you can see properly. What did you use for the middle one? Oh, the middle one, I think was what did I use on that? I think it was Clay Rose for the shadows. And maybe some Nectar. Clay Rose Nectar, looks like peach and then cream, I think. Clay Rose, Nectar, peach and cream, I think. I didn't write it down. I wrote the other ones down. That's annoying, isn't it? But yeah, I think that's what it was. So let's get started then. So I start off usually with my shadows, and the shadow colour for this is artichoke. Now, if you don't know what artichoke looks like, let me just do a quick swatch for you. It's very greenish and it's kind of bronze. And I was going to use the bronze pencil. I think I actually used that in this one. Yeah, I did. So my shadows on this were bronze, but you can see that this is more of that olive tone. So yeah, this is artichoke. It's kind of browny, greeny, bronzy kind of colour. And that's what I'm going to use for the shadows first of all. So I'm going to start off by lightly layering this artichoke because you don't want to go too far with it. That's one thing that I learnt. Don't go too far with it. So start off really, really nice. Hopefully we're zoomed in enough. Really nice and light. And just plan where you want your shadows to be. So I'm going to come down the jawline. And I'm going to come in front of this piece of hair. Hopefully you can see this. I am doing it very lightly. Until you've got this sort of sweep of colour that's thicker up towards the eye and then thins out towards the chin. So that's kind of that side. Now, the other thing that I'm really nervous about is the nose. Because Hannah Lynn doesn't really do noses on her pages. So I was sort of messing about trying to do noses on here and they're not great at all. But I'm just going to have to go for it, I think. So I'm going to use the artichoke to make a little oval just above that nose line that Hannah has drawn in. And then I'm going to take a line upward from one side and we're going to join onto this eyelid crease. So just join onto there just like that. So that's how it should look at the moment. And then I'm going to do another line on this side that joins more up towards the eyebrow on this side. So this side's a little bit longer, but we will be shadowing and shading that in as well. I'm also going to attempt to just draw a little bit of a nostril on the end there. Like I say, it could go very wrong. But I'm still doing it quite lightly at the moment, so we'll see how that goes. Then I'm going to start from the bottom of this jaw and just work straight up against the line. And just do a light layer all the way up to the eye. So here we've left a little bit of a gap between our colouring and the line art because I sort of wanted to have that look of it being rounded. But here, because that's the way her face is tilted, this is more into shadow. So I've put the colour straight up against the line on this one. What's next? So I need to just bring out this colour just underneath her eye. So you've got a bit of a triangle, soft curved triangle going on there. And then I'm going to give her a little bit of an L just underneath her nose for the philtrum area. So just an L underneath there. And then we'll do a little bit under the lip, just for some shading under the bottom lip there. And then come up above the eyelashes. So I'm just going to go straight to the top. I'm going to thicken this out a little bit, but also keep a bit of a curve going here. Just to show that this is show the bone structure, I suppose. And then straight across to the other side, and we'll do pretty much the same thing. So I'm going to fill that bit in with artichoke because it's right underneath the hair, so it would be in shadow. And then coming over here and then on top of that eyelid crease. kind of like that. And then up here underneath the hair, so you've got like the curtains of her hair, we want to do a bit of shading under there just to show that the hair is above the skin and there would be a bit of natural cast shadow under there. Now it's the nose area. I always get a bit nervous. So I'm going to just bring that line upwards a bit towards the eyebrow, and then I'm going to start to shade in and also shade here as well. So your shading should come down to where the corner of the lip is, and then where you did the L, in between the L and the shading, you will have like a lighter area that just shows that it's, you know, the bow of the mouth points out a little bit. So you've got the dip and then you've got the crest. So I'm going to bring this shading down here a little bit more, and I'm going to meet them up here just at the side. So you should have a bit of an upside down teardrop of white just there on the cheek. And then on this side on the nose, I'm going to fill in a little bit here, and again bringing the shading down. I don't know as if I've done this nose brilliantly, but I told you it could go wrong. You definitely got more patience with Prismas than I had. Yeah, polychromos are really, really nice, especially for layering jobs like this. So I'll bring the shadow down there, and then again we'll come down the side of the nose and to the corner of the lip, so that we've again got another white space next to the L. And then I can bring this down and sort of join it up a little bit. I'll extend this jawline as well, so that we've got a bit of a light area for the chin, because that would obviously be protruding like the apples of the cheeks and the top of the eyebrow bone. The book that I'm colouring right now is called Whimsy Girls Around the World, and it's one that I've printed off. I bought the PDF on Etsy and printed it off. Let me think, is that enough shading? Is that everywhere? I think so. Like I say, I'm not like majorly happy with the nose, but anyways. The next colour is Ginger Root, and again this is another colour that I wasn't sure about, but it seemed to work the times that I did the practice. So Ginger Root, I'm just going to come out a little bit further from the artichoke lines, but I am just following where I've put those areas of artichoke, so just following it but coming out slightly further, because it's starting to lighten as we go into the centre points of the face. So I'm just extending the areas of artichoke and getting it ready to blend into the next colour. So we're missing Barbara tonight. Barbara's in Disneyland, so I bet she's having an amazing time. I've been to Disneyland. I've been to the one in, where is it? Is there one in California? There must be, because that's where I was staying at the time, but it's so long ago that I can't remember how long the journey was to get there from where my uncle lived in San Diego. So I know I've been, but I can't remember exactly which one it is. Okay, so that's the ginger root, I think. So we're just starting to kind of encroach further inward on those white gaps. The next one is beige, and this is going to be one of the main colours I think that we use on this skin tone. This is going to go over and blend out the artichoke and the ginger root, and yeah, it's going to be the main sort of colour of the face. So again, I'm just going to do beige pretty much all over the artichoke and the ginger root, and bring those white gaps in a little bit further. This beige is a really warm colour, and it helps to bring sort of blood back into the face, if that makes sense, because the green of the artichoke can look quite dead if you don't get anything that's got a warmth to it, I suppose. I mean, the artichoke is fairly warm, but you need a kind of light skin tone colour to really get it to work. It's on Etsy, Cara, the PDF, but you can, I believe, also buy the Amazon published edition with Amazon paper. Or I think you can buy the artist edition on really good paper directly from Hannah Lynn's website. So the thing I've noticed about Prismacolors, using them all the time, is that they're so opaque that they will start to go over and cover up some of the line art sometimes. So I will have to go over at the end all of these black lines and just redefine them a little bit, because we are going to lose them while we're doing all this skin colouring. Oh, I'm glad you got the sharpener, Jenny. It really is good, isn't it? I use it all the time. I've never had pencils break from it either. Disney's so expensive, several $100s to get in. Oh my gosh, yeah. I mean, obviously I was young at the time, so I didn't pay for it, but I can imagine it's super, super expensive. Okay, now I'm going to use Eggshell, which is the last pencil of the skin tone, and I'm just going to give this a light layer over everything that's white on the page, because I'm one of these people when I'm colouring skin who leaves white to make it really contrast, but it always looks strange, you know. Nobody's skin is pure white. And highlights never look pure white. Even if you've got a really shiny light, you know, you'd have to have super greasy skin and a really shiny light to look completely white. So I'm going over all of the white areas with Eggshell, including against the jawline that we did there. And that is really the first layer of the skin tone. So now it kind of gets scary because I'm starting to layer up more of the darker colours. So yeah, this is what I've been worried about all week. So I've got the artichoke again, and I'm going to go over all of the initial marks that we made for the shading. I'm not going to reapply the ginger root because I don't think that I need to. I've done 3 or 4 practices of this skin tone, and I think the ginger root is good as a base layer just to transition from the artichoke to the beige. But I don't think I need any more of it because it's going to really almost grey out bits of the skin, and that's not what I want. So I'm really, really hoping that this works out. And I haven't tried any of the rest of the body, you know, the arms and the neck with this skin tone, so that is going to be straight off the cuff. So So again, I'm just going in on all the same places that I've already put the artichoke, but we're just deepening up the colour a little bit now. And I'm not a layering person at all. So when you see me layering with Prismacolors, you know it's because I'm really nervous, and it's got to be something to do with skin usually. Because normally I just get in there and I'm hard pressure, I burnish straight away and I make it look completely solid and printed. But with skin, I'm always like a bit scared. I'm just going to try and redefine that nose a bit, but it could very, very easily go wrong. It's quite a small nose, saying that her eyes are massive and her lips are massive. I probably should have made that a bit bigger, to be honest. Shouldn't I? I don't know if I can erase because Prismacolors aren't very good at erasing. But because it's a light layer, it might let me. Let's have a go. Let's try and make this nose just slightly bigger then, just so it seems a bit more in proportion with the face. I mean, Hannah Lynn's faces aren't really in proportion anyway, you know, the eyes are massive. But I just want to kind of make the other features match a little better. And just pray for the best. Skin colouring is fun, love it, don't be afraid of it. I'm always afraid of it, Eileen, always. Because even though I've done loads and loads of different pictures with people on it and skin tone and stuff, there's also loads of attempts that I've made which I haven't uploaded to Instagram, you know, so it's not a given for me that any time I try skin, it's going to be perfect, even after all these years. Never attempt skin of any kind. The shading is foreign language. Yeah, my shading's pretty much the same on every face. Doesn't matter which way it's turning, doesn't matter where the light source is. I stick with my one sort of framework of shading. Let's see if I can just pull some of that colour out of the nose a little bit. Maybe just widen this a little bit. See, even that tiny little adjustment then, it looks a bit better to me. Lots of people haven't tried skin tone yet. Yeah, I don't blame you. It is scary. Hannah has such big faces, I'm scared to try. I know, because the one that I printed, it's really quite small, but now look at the difference. Now I'm having to like change my proportions a little bit. To accommodate for this larger area. Right, so that's sort of my second layer of artichoke. Now I'm going to go straight in with the beige, so we're skipping the ginger root altogether. And I'm going to use a little bit of harder pressure this time, because I really want to start working the beige and the artichoke together and start building up a bit of smoothness on this skin, because at the minute it's very, very grainy. You can see the tooth of the paper loads, but by the end of it I want to make it as smooth as I possibly can. So I'm using the beige almost as like a blender pencil really, and again like medium hard pressure, and especially over areas where you can see that the artichoke is really, really showing up, like here it looks almost dirty. So I'm using the beige, pressing quite hard at the edges over the darkest places of artichoke to get that to blend out a little bit. And I probably will come back in with a few more touches of artichoke. It's like a balancing act, you know, you get rid of it and then you have to bring a little bit back and so on and so forth. So yeah, like I say, I'm just using this beige as a bit of a blender over all of the artichoke areas. Claire's making it look easy. Oh my goodness, no. Oh, my little sister's on. Which book will you be using, Eileen? Oh, Eileen's talking about Christine Karen. Oh, Christine Karen portraits tonight. I'd love to see how Eileen does skin. I think I've seen a few of your finished pictures, Eileen. But because of the time difference, I can never get on to Eileen's stream. We were talking about this the other day. Eileen's 7 p.m. Central Standard Time in America is like my 1 a.m. And with the like migraines and things that I've been getting over recent months, I've really had to knuckle down on my sleep hygiene. And I end up going to bed no later usually than 10:30 every night. And you know, I have a little play on my phone and stuff, but then I'm asleep. And I think I needed to do that because it could have been contributing to why I was having migraines, you know, burning the candle at both ends. So otherwise, I would be loving to come on Eileen's stream and watch what she's doing, but it just doesn't match up with me, unfortunately. So it's better, I suppose, for those of you in the US and other countries where the time zones match up. And I mean, if you are a night owl and you live in the UK, then, you know, it's perfect for you as well. Learned so much watching your skin tutorials, playing so well. Oh, thank you, Lisa. Yeah, it is. It really is a killer. Mine looks like Donald Trump orange. You know, if you find that your skin tone is too red or too orangey, try using some like a lavender colour. I usually go straight for the grade lavender in the Prismacolors, and using that in your shadows or just over the redness, it like cancels it out. It's colour theory, I don't know, but it cancels out the redness and it turns it into more of a greyish shadow rather than bright red. You could give it a go anyway. Okay, so again, just using this beige, almost like a blending pencil, straight over all of the artichoke, and hopefully we start getting the olive type shade into this skin. Melissa, why is your name Pleb Meme Creator? Melissa's my little sister. What kind of name is that for a channel? Searching for skin tones was how I found you. Always love how you're doing. Oh, thank you, Em. But yeah, this one took a little bit of fiddling about with to get this skin tone. You know, like I say, I was trying bronze and cream and peach and stuff like that, and I wasn't getting the tone that I wanted. And one of my friends said to me on message, try artichoke. And I thought, oh my God, artichoke, no way. It's too green. It's not like a skin, but it's honestly, it's made this skin tone. So I've got to say thanks, Steph, for that. I was really unsure about it at first. Don't have Prisma, but do have Polychromos and Black Widow, so I'll match colours. Have I got a Prismacolor to Black Widow? I don't know if I have. That could be something I do next for a chart. Prismacolor to Black Widow conversions. But I'm sure somebody has done it already. But yeah, off the top of my head, I'm not sure what the conversions are for these particular Prismas. Because I'm not... I don't know Black Widows as much as I know Prismas. So I'd need to like get my swatch book out and have a look. I suppose I could. Where is my swatch book? Right, let me just quickly go to Black Widows, see if I can find you one that will be the same. Just zoom you out a little bit. Right, here's all of the Black Widows, 180 pencils. So we're looking for something along here. These colours are all very, very similar. Cardboard, light bronze, olive gold, cobra. Let me put some artichoke next to it. Probably, let me get right to the edge. I would say olive gold is going to be your artichoke conversion. I mean, the olive gold is a bit lighter, but none of the others are dark enough. But olive gold seems to have the right tone to it. So for any of those would really do, especially the olive gold or the cobra. The next pencil was the ginger root. Let me do a quick sample of this. So we're looking at the colour Suede. So at the moment we've got either olive gold or cobra, and then suede for the ginger root. Then we've got this one, which is beige, which is actually quite a light orange, orangey peachy colour, which I would say is most closest. It could be most closest to peach actually, from Black Widows. And I don't know, because this is my family chart, I don't know what sets these are all in. So I think peach matches up quite nicely with the beige. And then finally it's the eggshell, which is actually not that different to beige when you look at them together. Beige, eggshell, it's just slightly yellower. So maybe for eggshell, it's not perfect, but to get the differentiation between the peach and this one, I would probably go for Merc. Probably. But it, no, actually I wouldn't, because that's a darker colour than the peach and we want something lighter. Hang on a minute, what about either oyster or milk? Maybe one of those two. So what we're saying on the comments, honeycomb and tanned, where are they? Tanned is here, that's, yeah, let me have a look. A little bit too orange, the tanned one. And where's honeycomb? At the top. Oh, yeah, I mean, peach and honeycomb are actually really, really similar. So I suppose you could use any of them. It depends what sets you've got, but just give it a try. If you have got Prismas, you could just do a side-by-side comparison. But if you haven't, I'm sure people in the comments would let you know, or just try those that I've quickly had a look at. Karen at My Colourful Country Life has done a conversion. There you go. Hop over to Karen's and you'll have a brilliant conversion chart. Karen's lovely, isn't she? Her videos are such good quality as well, like the production quality, and I just love the sound of her voice. I love listening to her. And, you know, she comes out with all these big colour-alongs that have taken hours, and, you know, if you follow them step by step, she's brilliant. Right, so back with the beige, because we're not finished with the artichoke yet. So we're using this again as a blending pencil over all of the areas of artichoke. And come down here on this side of the hair. I think it's this mixture predominantly of beige and artichoke that's getting that olive tone that I'm after. I don't know how it's showing up on camera because, well, hang on a minute, I've got my night mode on, so I'm not seeing the true colours. It's showing up a little bit yellowish on camera, whether this is more it's more warm, it's orangey, it's more of an orangey bronze colour, whereas this looks a lot different. I don't know whether you can see the difference. But anyway, give it a go and you'll know what I mean. Let me just sharpen this. So this is where we start to get more of a smoothed out skin tone, just by using this beige as our blender. You could of course use a blender pencil, but I always find blends are better when you use an actual coloured pencil. Just bring a little bit more of this out here. And just really, if you see any areas where the artichoke is looking a little bit too heavy, kind of medium hard pressure on the beige should flatten it out and lighten it a bit. Right, so I think that's enough beige for now. I probably will come back in and do more, but I'm going back to the eggshell to fill in the rest with, again, a medium pressure. think this is the first time I've done a skin tone and not left any white. Because I always think it looks great, you know, to have these really light areas of highlights on the face. But then when I look back and I think, actually, that's not what skin looks like. But I guess, you know, when you're doing colouring, you can do what you want. It could be a fantasy skin tone and it doesn't have to be realistic, does it? Oh, thank you, Jeanette. I was worried. I was worried about that nose. I still am. I won't be satisfied till I've completely finished this face. So again, we're just filling in all the white areas. It's very strange for me to do this. And I am going to come back in with some artichoke because I feel like our shadows aren't as predominant as they should be. Right, so artichoke again, let's just have a look at some comments. Can you use the Caran d'Ache blender on a different brand pencil? Are they basically the same? Yeah, I think so. So the luminance that you meant to kind of use the blender on, and I think maybe the Pablos too, but they are different. They are wax based. So I've used the Caran d'Ache full blender on Prismas, other kind of Artex wax, any kind of wax based pencil I've used them on, and it's worked fine. So you should be okay. Watched your video that you did for hair on Creative Heaven channel, very good. Oh, thank you so much. Claire, what do you use to touch up the line art? So normally I would use black pencil, but only after I've done everything around it, because, you know, that, I mean, like the hair and everything, because if I start filling in the black on this now and then come to do these little bits of hair, you know I'm going to drag the black everywhere. I've been there, I've done it. So I use black pencil, and the only reason is I used to use a Tombow pen like this to go over all the black. And then if I went anywhere near it to do touch-ups, it would streak the black ink all the way across, you know, all the skin that I've just taken ages to do. So I use black Prismacolor or whatever pencil, maybe even a black Polychromos, because it's it keeps its tip sharper for longer. So that'd be good. But any kind of black pencil, and then you're not going to get any ink dragging. There are 64 of us watching and only 36 thumbs up. Thank you, Angela. I ought to make you a moderator, didn't I? Right, so again, artichoke, the scary colour. Now that we've sort of burnished everything with the beige, you might find it slightly difficult to put this last bit of artichoke on, depending what paper you're using. So this paper is Nina Cardstock Bristol Vellum, and it has quite a lot of tooth to it. So even after you've burnished, you can still put a bit of a light layer on top, but only, you know, with very light pressure. I'm not putting any pressure on this whatsoever. And I'm just redefining some of those shaded areas. Just so that we've got a bit more definition, I suppose. Because I don't know what this is looking like to you on camera. On my phone, it's looking very much like it's all one colour, this face. But in person, you can see a lot more of the depth of the shading. But I'm going to try and make that even more defined for the purposes of this live tutorial, whatever you want to call it. Laura's here. Totally forgot it was Tuesday. I know the bank holidays just messed everything up. So for you guys in America, I don't think you have bank holidays. A few times a year, usually on set days, but sometimes they vary. We'll have what they call a bank holiday, which I think was when the banks used to be off. It used to be closed. But now I don't know whether it... I mean, maybe it does. Maybe banks are still closed on bank holiday. But anyway, it usually means that you get a day off work. And it's always on a Monday. And it always sort of messes up the week after that because you think it's a certain day, like Laura's just said, when it's not. Laura says skin looking great. Thanks, Laura. I've been really scared. And just add a bit more. You know what I bought, and I tried, well, I say I tried to use it. I tried very, very quickly to use it, and I didn't like it, but I've not, don't let that be a recommendation or a diss of this product, because I really haven't tried it properly. But I brought this coloured pencil powder blender. Oh my gosh, try saying that when you're drunk. Coloured pencil powder blender. It's from Jackson's, and apparently it's like a colourless powder that you put over the paper, and it helps you to blend. I think it creates a tooth or creates a grip on the surface. So if you've burnished previously and you want to add more layers, you can put this on top, and it's completely colourless, and it gives you more of a grippy surface to colour on. So yeah, coloured pencil powder blender, and I got it from Jackson's, and I'm going to have a properly good play with it. But I don't know whether anybody else has used that and might have some tips for us. I'm going to go over the eyelid there, the eyelid line, because that was disappearing a little bit. They call those federal holidays in the US. Oh, okay. Federal holiday. Federal, is that like, that's like the police, right? I could be totally wrong. I'd love to see you demonstrate the powder. I will definitely show everyone when I've got the hang of it and what I'm meant to do. I might need to watch a few videos on it myself just to see how best to use it. But from what I can gather, it almost acts like how you would prime a canvas with gesso, or prime a paper with gesso to get more of a tooth. But with this one, it gives you more tooth to add on after, as well as, after you've burnished and stuff. That's what I heard about it anyway. So hopefully you can all see these shadows a bit better. It's still looking quite yellowish and quite green on my screen, but actually it is different. I don't know whether that's showing on camera. It's much more of an olive tone. The government, oh, okay. Why did I think the federal? Oh, because like the feds, that's why I thought that. Would it work straight on paper like Amazon to give more tooth? Good question, Sharon. That would be really, really handy to know, wouldn't it? Because that would be a game changer for buying Amazon printed books, wouldn't it? To have some way of creating your own tooth on that paper to give yourself more chance of layering. Hi, Mo. Have you tried Krylon fixative to add tooth? I haven't, Eileen, I haven't. What's that like? Tell us about it. Nanamo's eating her supper. What you having? What you having? I've not had mine yet. I had pizza from Greg's for dinner because I was absolutely starving. And I just wanted something to eat like instantly. So, bad girl, had pizza from Greg's. And of course I'd have a chocolate muffin because, you do, don't you? Right. I don't know what's happening with that nose. Something's happening with this bit of her nose here and it looks odd. Just try and concentrate on this for a sec. I don't know, I'm not going to worry about it. Sorry I'm late, didn't realise the time I have to do replay. Oh, no worries, no worries. It's meant to set your colour in, but you then colour over it. Oh, right, okay. So it can be used as both a fixative and a texturizer, would you call it that? So it's like a workable fixative. I've got to go now, see the evening entertainment on the boat. Oh, I hope you have a fantastic time, Angela. Thank you for dropping in. I ordered this book and hope to get mine today from Amazon. Oh, fantastic. It is a really, really nice book. I showed it last week. I don't know whether you were, I think you were here. But yeah, it is nice. Yes, it's a spray. Laura says, still lurking, just cooking tea. Kiev's with macaroni and cheese. I love macaroni and cheese, but I'm not a Kiev fan, I've got to say. You know, like cutting into the chicken and seeing just liquid. And I think it's the thought of it, you know, I don't know. But I hope you enjoy yours. Right. So I've kind of redefined all of the artichoke. I'm sorry this has taken so long, by the way. This has taken like 45 minutes just to do the face, but with skin I am quite slow, so we're definitely not going to get this page anywhere near completed tonight. It might just be the skin for this episode. Maybe I should hurry up and stop chit-chatting. Right, I think that'll do. So back in with the beige now. Again, going over the artichoke in any of the areas that look a little bit heavy, but basically just to add a layer on top of that artichoke and make it a bit more of a skin kind of colour than the green of the artichoke, if that makes sense. So the artichoke and the beige blend really nicely together to create this olive effect. And you know, skin always looks really strange when you've got no context around it. So you've got no hair colour, no background, no clothing colours, no eye colour. It's always going to look really weird until you start to colour the rest of the page, and then it should settle in, if you know what I mean. Our son is currently cooking us steak and black pepper sauce. Ooh, I'm not a steak person. My husband loves it. But I'm not really a beef person. Mostly the meat that I eat is chicken. But I have to make sure it's definitely completely cooked, even to the point of being overcooked sometimes, because I'm really funny about meat and stuff like that. Kim's learning so much. Oh, thank you. Oh, and spicy potato wedges and green beans. Now, those I can definitely go for. In fact, you just reminded me that I've got a tin of green beans in the cupboard. It's been ages since I bought them, and then I was in the shop the other day and I was like, I want a tin of green beans, because I used to just eat them like basically out of the tin. You know, because I do like fresh green beans, obviously, fresh is best, but I quite like the tinned ones just as a snack. It's a bit weird, I suppose. Need to run, hope to see some of you during my broadcast, 7 p.m. CST. Yeah, so if you're around at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time tonight or any other night, you will find, without fail, Eileen is doing a broadcast. So yeah, I really wanted to put that out there to everyone. I did talk about Eileen a couple of years ago when we first sort of got to know each other. But it's always worth sort of bringing it up again, isn't it, for people that weren't here or maybe forgot, you know, and want to know that there's somewhere they can go and speak to somebody every night. And it's amazing, really. I just do not know how Eileen does it, you know, even on holidays. Every single night of the year for 3 hours, she dedicates her time to being with people. And I think it's fantastic. So thank you very much for dropping in. Yeah, all of the videos of her lives get saved. So even if you can't drop in that particular night and you want to watch it, you can watch it back. Melissa's having pizza. With Melissa, it's always either pizza or pasta. I don't think you really eat anything else, do you? Mind you, she loves the fruit. Melissa's 13. She's my little sister. You're not 13 yet, though, are you? 13 in July. I just rounded it up. Surprised the eyebrows don't have more of a Cleopatra look, or is that a different time period? Cleopatra, she was Egyptian, right? I don't know. Is Egypt and Greece, these kind of ancient things, were they around about the same period of time? I don't know. I can't even think of what Cleopatra's eyebrows look like, to be honest. I'll have to look it up. Right. So again, I'm just going over. It's really tedious. I'm sorry if this is boring. I'm just going over again all of the artichoke, and it's really pushing back the greenness and just leaving us with an olive tone, which is what I'm after. I also want to smooth up these nose lines a little bit because they are very harsh on the face. So I'll just come in with the beige and sort of bring those lines inward a little bit more. You might find that you really are pressing quite hard with this beige to get the artichoke to settle back down. I don't know what I'm saying. Oh my God, people at the house. Oh, I'll ring you about that later, Melissa. I love doing different skin. Yeah, this is one that I've just had to come up with because I wanted something that was olive, and I don't think I've done that skin before. But for this kind of time period, I suppose, in ancient Greece, I was trying to make it, I didn't want it to just be my usual standard henna, nectar, peach, light peach, you know. So I thought I'd challenge myself further. I think I might have moved her from Egypt to Rome. Yeah, maybe. Okay, Melissa, I hear you. I'll give you a ring after this. My niece is 15 and she lives on pizza and pasta. Yeah, to be fair, my kids are like that. Like, honestly though, my eldest, and actually my youngest as well, they do like the vegetables if they're on like a Sunday dinner, you know. But as for like most days sort of meals, especially my youngest, I think it's to do with him being autistic as well. Like there's certain textures and certain foods that he likes, and he's not really got much of a scope outside of those foods, which is really, really normal. But as long as they're eating, I'm not bothered. There was a time when my youngest was little and he was poorly and he didn't eat for 11 days. Oh my gosh, I was so scared, I can't tell you. But, you know, as long as they're drinking, when they're poorly like that, the doctors say, as long as they're drinking, don't worry too much, they'll eat when they're hungry. And, you know, eventually he did, but it was scary though. Just got a small bowl of ice cream to soothe the sore throat. Oh, are you coming down with something, Jenny, or is it just, have you been shouting at your husband too much? Yeah, it was, Kim, it was scary. You know, I think he was like 3, 4, no, probably about 3 or 4 at the time. And he did lose weight with it as well. Like I could see, he looked in his face wasn't as chubby, and it was scary. But eventually when he felt better, he did start eating again. And, you know, it's scary when they're little, isn't it? Everything scares you. I remember when he first started crawling, both my kids, you know, when toddlers first start crawling, they sort of hit, as they're crawling, they kind of hit the floor with such a force that they end up getting like little apple bruises on the knees, you know, from where they've been trying to crawl. And I was like so scared. I was like, oh my gosh, he's got bruises, you know. But it's just, if you've never had kids before, you don't know what to expect. And you don't know what's okay and what's not okay. And then by the time you've had 2, 3, 4 kids, the old joke goes that, you know, they don't even need to feed them anymore. They'll just eat some mud outside while they're playing, you know. And I think the scaredness and the fright kind of abates the more kids you have, I think. Had a cough virus for 6 weeks, but it's on its way out. The kiddos do bounce back, but it's scary. Yeah, it is scary. But yeah, coughing, that always seems to last, doesn't it? So if you get some kind of virus that involves a cold and a cough, like the flu symptoms can disappear, but the cough can linger for a long time. So I totally understand where you're coming from with that. What did I used to do with my kids? I used to put, do you know Vicks Vapor Rub? Like menthol Vaseline. I used to slather the feet in that and then put like fluffy bed socks on over it. And that used to stop the coughing. It's like an old wives' tale, but it worked. So maybe try that. Right, I think I'm just going over and over the same kind of things again here, but I'm pretty much done, I think. It's not like as perfect as I want it to be, but I think once I've done the eye colour and the hair colour and everything like that, it's going to look a bit more normal, if that makes sense. Now I could come in and put a little bit of, what could I put? Let me have a look. If I wanted to do a bit of blush, I could, but I don't think I'm going to, because it might sort of ruin the olivey look that I'm going for. Let me just have a look what would go. I mean, I could probably come in with some, maybe very, very light touch of burnt ochre or terracotta even, or maybe even a very light touch of chestnut, because that's, yeah. As if you wanted to do a little bit of blush, I would probably tickle it in from the corners under the eyes here. Maybe I will, if I don't know, I've not decided yet. Sarah's had a cough for 6 weeks and it's still not going. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it just carries on and on, doesn't it? Right, so I think that's the face done. And I can't tell you how pleased I am that it's not a complete mess. Because like I say, I've been whittling about this for a few days. Because I knew it was coming. I'm just fettling with it now. Just got the eggshell back to make sure that this is nice and smooth. You know, the centre, the highlight part's nice and smooth. All right, that'll do, Claire. Thank you, thank you. So we've got a bit of a neck and chest area to do, and then we've got some arms. And like I said earlier, I've not planned for this like I have with the face, so I'm just going to get to it straight away. Artichoke again. I'm going to try and speed up a little bit as well. But I'm going to do some shading down this side of the neck and then also under the chin with the artichoke. I'm going to do a little bit of shading just in her armpit. And then across the top of her, what's this called, a toga? And then a little bit down here as well. I don't really know what I'm doing, to be honest. I'm just winging it as usual. What eye and hair colour are you going to do? Well, I don't know, because I think the brown is actually really nice, you know. I don't really know what the predominant colour is for eyes in Greece. I would imagine it's brown, but I don't know. I mean, I've done blue, green and brown here on these examples. And the blue are really, really striking. But I feel like this is more in keeping. What do you reckon? What do you think? I'm thinking brown. I'm just going to twist you a little bit because I want to get the angle on this arm. So I'm coming down here with the artichoke and across the bottom of the arm. Yeah, I hope you get better soon, Sarah. What eye and hair colour? I've answered that. Yeah, so we've got brown. A couple of people saying brown, agreed. I think that will work best. I usually gravitate towards blue because it looks so striking, or even green when I'm doing faces. But I need to like push myself out of that comfort zone a bit. Brown hazel eyes, yeah. I think blue would wash the face colour out. Yeah, you could be right. You could be right. Yeah, I think brown. In Greece, I saw most locals with brown eyes. There we go then. Brown and honey blonde hair. Oh, yeah, I never even thought about the hair. I guess in the back of my mind, I was thinking it would be dark, like black maybe. I don't know, I've got it in my head because of the olive skin and the brown eyes that it would also have, you know, be dark hair, but I don't know how to think about that one. Honey blonde. So we've got to think about how it would react with the skin tone that we've done as well, because any kind of thing that we do that's darker around this area is going to make the skin look lighter. It's like a trick of the light, a trick of the eye, whatever. If we do really light hair, like the blonde, this is going to look a lot more brown, a lot more olivey, and a lot deeper, you know? Perhaps the brown in the example is a bit too light. Do you mean the eye colour? Yeah, I'm thinking about the hair now. These are just very, very quick eyes. I've not really thought about it too much. But about the hair, I was, I suppose, thinking dark. But I don't know. I'd love to know what you all think. Where else do I need to do some of this colour? And just a little bit going up there. And then let's have a little bit sort of in this dip of the arm as well. Like I said, I'm just winging these shadows. That'll do, I think, for that arm. And then this one. So what are we saying? Grecian is dark brown, dark hair, maybe brown with some golden blonde highlights in the hair to show off the skin tone. That might be nice. So like a really deep sort of chocolatey brown, but with some goldish kind of bits in it, maybe. What I might do is take a picture of this on my iPad and then mess about with some colours, see what looks best. Red or orange hair would work nice against the green and brown eyes. Yeah, green eyes definitely. Like this skin tone, these eyes, I would say red hair would be absolutely perfect. For this one, I don't know. I think it would clash a little bit with the oliveness of this skin. Grecian hair looks kind of chestnut according to Google. Okay. That makes more sense, I think, than blonde. I don't think I would do blonde. I wouldn't have thought about doing blonde until you just mentioned that. But really, it's up to you what you colour it into. It doesn't have to be realistic, flipping ancient Greek, perfect sort of colouring. You can do it whatever you want. I don't know, maybe I think too much about these things. I'm finally selling all my Prismacolors. I've fallen. Oh no, I'm really sorry to hear that. I couldn't be without my Prismas. They're my absolute go-to. I just know them so well. But I suppose I should really get to know other brands as well as I know Prismas. But they're just a delight to use. But I suppose everybody's got their own, you know, their own preferences when it comes to pencils. I think they're a very individual thing. Sarah says they say light brown hair as well. Okay, I'm gonna have a fiddle about with it on my iPad and see what looks good. Don't do my hair colour, it's white at 46. Wouldn't be much a colouring tutorial. Yeah, just leave it the white of the page, Jenny. So you've gone white quite early then. 46. Mind you, my husband, he went white in his 20s, I think. Or, you know, grey. Cough always seems to linger. Work in a store with a wellness area, we suggest vitamin A to boost respiratory system. Okay, so that's good. If anyone's still listening about the cough, vitamin A is worth a try. Google says brown hair and brown eyes, but I also see dark hair with blue eyes. I think it's going to be brown. It's going to be brown of some sort. But not sure. I'm not sure. See, with black, I suppose you're kind of looking more of Egyptian, you know, like Cleopatra. You'd look at something similar to this skin tone, maybe slightly browner, and then black hair. That's the more of the Egyptian Cleopatra look. Whereas I guess Greece, I don't really know. But if you're saying like medium brown, that sounds good to me. Started going at 12 years. My friend used to count them in maths. Oh my gosh. That is early. Did you have red hair, ginger hair? Because they usually say people that have got that gene go white really early. I just realised that I'm too busy talking and not doing enough colouring. I don't really know what I'm doing here. Let's just bring that shading up there a little bit, I suppose. Maybe just a little bit on the edge, on the other side. Just underneath this medal thing that's holding the toga up. Okay, next colour was ginger root, but only a little bit of this. Like I'm barely using it at all. Just purchased a set of 120 Crawford and black colouring pencils. Works have them reduced, should have been 30 quid. Oh, lovely. I've never heard of that brand, Crawford and black. I don't go in the Works that often. I should have a look really what they've got. No, it was mousy brown, grows quick, so when I dye it, it only looks nice for a week before a silver path appears. But, you know, silver hair, it's actually pretty cool. Like, it'd be cool if you kept, like, the one stripe, like Lily from the Munsters. I've always thought that would look ace. A little teensy tiny bit of ginger root just on the edge of the artichoke. And then beige. You fooled me, Claire. You look like you know exactly what you're doing. Oh, good. I'm glad, because I don't. Beige. I finished my crochet blanket, by the way. I've given it to my nana. It's massive. It's like, how can I describe how long it is? Because I haven't measured it. So if I'm lying down on the settee, it will cover me from my neck to my toes. So it's a decent size. I used 6 150-gram balls of yarn. And I've just started tonight another blanket for myself, which is all black at the moment. And I'm not sure what colour I'm going to add onto it, if any, or if I'm just going to keep it black and gothy. I think auburn would be nice, so brown with a touch of red. Yeah, maybe. I'll give it a try. I think they've brought out a load of new art stuff. It's worth a go, isn't it? It's worth a look, because the Works are really good price-wise. The Works do great versions of Posca pens. Oh, that's good to know. Their colouring books are a great price too. Quite a few witchy books, Stranger Things. I need to go and have a look in the Works, I really do. It's been ages. Sarah says, I love crochet. Yeah, I've got into it, like, really quite well. I mean, I started that blanket on the 24th of April and it's now the 7th of May. So it's only taken me like 2 weeks, just over. But it's the same stitch over and over and over, so I can just sort of zone out while I'm doing it. I don't have to think. Like, I was going to start a granny stripe blanket with this one that I'm doing now, because before, the one that I did for Nana was a granny square blanket. So I did the granny square and just kept adding and adding and adding all the way around. And I was going to do a granny stripe because my friend Laura, she should be here somewhere, said to do the granny stripe. And you have to start off with like 100 or 200 chains to get the width of your blanket. And I did that. And then the video that I was watching, it was like, put this in this certain chain. And then, I don't know. I just felt a bit like, oh my God, this is a long way around it. And, you know, I give up too easily. So I went back and started again with the granny square. Okay, so there's the beige. And then we'll do a bit on the neck. I can't tell you how happy I am that that skin turned out all right. Hope you aren't using dark needles with the black yarn. Yeah, the black yarn is really difficult to see, isn't it? But no, my needle's pink, I think. Yeah. Not like I don't look at it for hours at a time. I can't even remember what colour it is. I think it's pink, or is it blue? No, it's pink. What book am I colouring from? Hi Rachel, thank you for joining. It's Whimsy Girls Around the World by Hannah Lynn. And I got mine from Etsy and I printed it and bound it. But you can get it from Amazon as well. My librarian boss is a Swiftie, so I got her a tailor crochet kit for her birthday. She'll like it more for the fact I'll be making it for her. She'll just have to take it out of the box. Oh, that would be lovely. What kind of pattern is it then? Is it actually Taylor's face, or is it like an album pattern, or is it, what is it? Claire, do you work from dark to light? I do. Dark to light is how I do it. And I know that's probably the wrong way round if you ask a lot of people. But it's just how I like to do it. I like to put my shadows in first so that I know where to put my highlights, really. I don't think I could leave my highlights first and go into dark that way. It's just, it feels unnatural to me. But I know a lot of people do colour light to dark. It's just what you get used to, isn't it, really? Yeah, Nanomo does dark to light too. Right, next is eggshell. Straight over all of the white bits. And then it was beige burnish, I think, was the next step. Trying to remember. Maybe I'll just put, no, I'll do it as I did before. So beige burnish over the artichoke areas. Dark to light makes more sense to me as you'll blend it all over with the lighter colour. Yeah, exactly. I bought my Hannah Lynn from Etsy after Claire shared the link. Yeah, that's where I got mine. So I got all 18 books. I think that's all bar one of Hannah Lynn's books. I just absolutely love her stuff. And I think with Hannah Lynn's work, for me, it's not so much about the girl. It's about the setting. You know, she doesn't just do girls with nothing going on in the background. She thinks about the themes of her books. Like this one is around the world, so you've got different landmarks and stuff, and you know, obviously different hairstyles, different clothing, and there's, you know, all of her themes are really, really good. I think that's what I like best about Hannah's style. It is her themes more than anything. Oh, Shane's on. Shane's my eldest. Hi from Spain. Yeah, Shane's in Spain at the moment, but shh. Hi, Claire. Oh, hi, Blue. I think starting with the darker colour can be an advantage. If I start with the light, I'm too scared to make it dark enough. Yeah, that's a good point as well, Nicole. Jeanette's using moss stitch to do a baby blanket in variegated turquoise. That sounds beautiful. I just want to do a quick test of when I put these two together, what you can see. I bet they both look the same to you, don't they? See, on my screen, this looks so yellow, but in real life, it's really warm brown, warm kind of browny colour. Oh, don't even start me on amigurumi. Oh, I tried, and then it was so complicated, you know, because you're having to do it almost in 3-dimension, decreasing, increasing. I was like, no, I can't. I was getting really frustrated with it. But I really want to be able to make things with eyes. We're in an Irish bar at the minute. Don't drink too much, Shane. Hi, Damien. Is Shane the one to blame for the end of the Colour with Claire gimmick? Is Shane the one to blame for the end of the Colour with Claire gimmick? What do you mean, like the see you soon on Colour with Claire, like all that? Yeah, in that case, yes, him and his brother taking the mick. Can you see that? I don't know what the difference is. Can everyone, I've just got a reconnection notice. I don't know why. It could be my crappy internet. Made my daughter a waffle stitch blanket, which if you have people in your lives with autism, they really help with the weighted feel. Yeah, the waffle stitch is really tight, isn't it? There's no gaps like with a normal granny stitch 3 double crochet cluster. I really should have done the waffle stitch for this blanket that I'm starting. But I don't know, sometimes when things are too hard, I just give up too easy. Oh, I'm so sorry it keeps disconnecting. That's really annoying. I thought that, you know, YouTube gremlins and internet gremlins had stopped, because I remember when I was doing some lives a few years ago, it was constantly happening and it was really off-putting. But I'm sorry if it's my internet that's doing it, because it is really rubbish. But I'm stuck in a contract as much as I keep trying to get out of it. I made a basket weave stitch blanket. It took 3 years. I haven't seen a basket weave. I'll have to have a look. Is that like a really complex stitch? When you flipped the page a bit, I saw the face more brown. Oh, I know, it's weird. That's it in natural light, even though it is like 8:30 at night, so the sun has gone down. That's natural light. And then that's with the light. I think the natural light actually looks loads better, doesn't it? Just from looking on my camera. I'm going to turn it off for a bit. Mind you, I can't see anything then. Anyways. Yeah, I'm sorry about the freezing up. It's really frustrating. Did a seed stitch edge, which is also easy. Not heard of that one either. I shall have to have a look. Yes, with the natural light. Nick Dave Liam says hi. Don't drink too much, guys. Is Liam all right, Shane? Liam's my brother. He's been suffering with his hay fever in Spain. You need a daylight lamp. I do need a daylight lamp. Shane's laughing at me asking because that's all I keep asking. How's Liam? How's Liam? It's his first holiday abroad and I just like worry about him. Claire, I knit. Maybe there is a crochet stitch like this. Oh, okay. So that could be something totally different, but there might be a crochet alternative. Right, I think I've done all of my burnish beige over artichoke bits. Now I can come back in with the eggshell and just properly fill in all the white bits. Now you see I could leave it like this almost, where it's got the big highlight and, you know, properly sort of shiny looking, but I thought to myself, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to actually completely colour the skin because hopefully it will look more realistic that way. I'm so not used to doing it though, because I'm always used to leaving lots of white for, you know, effect, I guess, and contrast. And then I'm going to go back in with the artichoke just to bring in some of those shadows a bit more, because we've lost them a bit too much. Yeah, I do need a daylight lamp. Because my light is, it really is yellow. Because I think the only options were warm or cool, and cool would be just really blue. So I need one that's more of a natural daylight colour. Can you hear the birds? Yeah, I think my back door's open. No, it's not. The window's open. Yeah, they've been really... I love birdsong. Do you have a PO box for Happy Mail not being a baby reindeer? That's proper tickle me. Oh, God. No, I don't. Usually when people, you know, ask, if I know that they're not baby reindeer, then I'll just give them my address. Probably shouldn't really. I'm too trusting anyway. But no, I mean, I've got the Amazon wish list, which doesn't show your address. That's more usually what happens if somebody sends me something. It's Amazon wish list, and then it will just come straight to my house, and it's a bit safer that way. Bye, Shane, love you. And Telly's been on the bevies. I think that's done. And then finally, just sharpen the beige. And one more time, just blend out the artichoke. scares me when that happens. I think it's there to remind me that I'm pressing too hard. You know you succeeded in parenting when your son checks in on your live from his holiday. Yeah. They probably all sat there taking mick out of my voice because it'll be, oh, Mum, why are you sounding dead posh for? Right, that's the arm, and then I've got to do under the neck. I have a daylight lamp with natural daylight. It has a specific name, can't come up. If you want, I'll look it up for you. That would be handy, Nicole, thank you. And this bit. I know, he's a good lad. He really is. He's both my lads are, obviously, but Shane's like a mummy's boy and Max is more of a daddy's boy. I think if Max went on holiday, he wouldn't be checking in with me. He'd be like, I'm too busy for that, Mum. Okay. I think I'm going to call that done. Got a daylight lamp for Christmas. It's huge. My daughter says it's like a street lamp. Yeah, but I bet it's really good though. Like, if it's got that much of a wide, a wide like cast of light. I don't know what I'm bloody saying. But I bet it is really, really good. Even bought my daylight lamp on holiday with me. Nicola. Oh, that's my sister. That's the sister that's in Spain. Hola a ti coloria con Claire amor desti. Right, let me try and figure out what she's trying to say. Hello, colour with Claire. Love something Spain. I don't know. Does anybody know what she's saying? Got all the family on tonight. It's a proper reunion, isn't it? Have Melissa and Nick and Shane. Oh, love from Spain. Oh, got it. Yeah. That makes sense. All right, I think that's the skin done. It's only taken me an hour and a half. What kind of zoom am I on at the minute? I don't know. Anyways, I'm going to turn the lamp off. Now you can see like it's getting really, really dark, but this is more of a accurate colour to how sort of golden and olive and brown this is. Like I say, you'll soon do it. You'll soon know when you do it, if you do. But yeah, hopefully you can see the difference when I turn the light off. Let's see if I can bring up the camera a little bit for you. Just so you can see a bit more of the like definition around the nose and the cheeks. Oh, thanks guys. So I'm going to pop the light back on because I can't see otherwise. And then what shall I do for the last 25 minutes? Let's do the eyes. Let me see what browns I've got. I don't have my pencil case near me at the minute, so I'm going into my spares drawer. What have I got then? Let me have a look. Sepia. Dark umber. I'm just talking to myself at the minute, by the way. Just bear with. All that dark umber's nice and warm. I'll have that one. That's gold. I don't want that. Ooh, chestnut. That's nice. But is it right for eyes? I don't know. I haven't really got too much options. Let me have a look. I've got loads of loose pencils hanging around. I think this is ochre, brown ochre. That's nice. Bit orangey though. Will lip colour depend on hair colour choice? Yeah, probably. I'll think about that in a bit. Hello to you, colour with Claire Love from Spain. Found it, but don't know if I translate biorhythm true light. I have a panel on the ceiling. You can use it from 2007 up to 500. I don't know what those numbers mean, but I assume it's like brightness. Will you turn the light off one more time so I can get a screenshot? Yeah, no problem. Hopefully it's not too dark for you to see. I'll just keep that off for a minute. Hopefully you've got it. Okay, so browns. Chocolate. Dark umber and chocolate. I think that's a bit too reddish. Oh, 2700 is yellow orange and 5 is sunlight. And oh, that's handy to like have the different, you know, time of day light. I don't know what I'm saying. I wonder if I've got anything a bit lighter. Don't worry, I'm talking to myself again. I do that a lot. Right, I've got dark umber. I'm going to get started on the eyes. So, with the dark umber, I'm going to do... Let me zoom you in again. I'm going to do a bit of an outline. I'm not really that great at eyes. You know, I think it was Colour and Chat with Sammy. She did a video about eyes and it was absolutely beautiful how she did her eyes. And I can't remember how she did it now. But she really got them looking sparkly and like all the detail in them and stuff. Oh, gone over a bit there. I'm going to attempt to do some like lines, but it might go wrong. Gosh, looks awful so far. That's why the name is Biorhythm, from Upcoming Sun, Noon, Sunset. That's awesome. Was it very expensive? So I'm just flicking out the chocolate brown as well. But I don't think those flicks are doing a lot, to be honest. Come back in with the umber. Don't look too bad. Maybe once I get some, you know, white dots and stuff on there, it'll be all right. Oh, thank you, Mo. Let's try this one. Same thing. Start at the top, curve it down, do a bit of an outline. Curve back up to the top. My street lamp is the Kenley floor standing daylight reading light, about 80 on Amazon. Oh, wow. That is a lot. I mean, it's probably not even a lot. Oh, Nicole's is €200, so I'm just tight then. Because that's like a lot to me, £80 for a lamp. But I suppose it isn't really when it's a good one. Kim says, so busy taking notes, what are you doing? Oh, there are 1,001 ways to colour an eye. You can't go wrong, really. I know. I think I'm just too much of a perfectionist. Like, I'm really hard on myself. I want everything to look amazing. You could even put highlights through of the darkest skin tone. Oh, that's a good idea. So like the artichoke as well. I don't know. I'm having a right mess with this. And then the chocolate again. Doesn't look too bad, to be honest. Like I say, once you've coloured other things on the page, most people aren't going to notice the little things that you think you've got wrong. Okay, let me see, what do I need? I need a bit more dark on here. I'm just kind of going backwards and forwards, redefining little bits and smudging little bits. Oh, thank you, Ellen. Nicole says, sorry, don't know the price in pounds, but yes, it's quite a lot. I use it as my main light too because not enough light. Yeah, I suppose it's an investment, isn't it? If you haven't got, like, I don't have much light in my living room. And because I've got my TV on the wall now, when I put the big light on, that's, you know, the main light, it reflects in the TV. So I usually have a lamp on, but that's just, it's not good enough to colour by, really. I mean, I still do, but I probably strain my eyes doing it. But yeah, so it probably would be a good investment to do that. Let me just sharpen this. This is the Derwent drawing. I'm just going to, just going to see if I can just pull a few highlights back into that brown. more chocolate. Right, so now I need my black pencil. Of course, I can't find one now. I want one. Let's get a polychromos one. Have I got a polychromos black? Yes. Hi, Alison. Right, so with my polychromos black, I'm going to colour in this pupil. And then we're going to add some white highlights. Also might as well do what I said earlier and just add these eyelashes back in. Oops. Otis says thank you for not scaring him with your hairdryer this week. I still don't know where that blooming heat gun is. I think someone's having me on. Say you and your Spanish eyes will wait for me. Right, that's that one eye done. Yeah, she's got dead eyes at the minute. Just need to get some white in there and they'll perk back up. You see what I mean about having to bring the black lines back in, because you don't realise how opaque the prismas are, and it really makes a difference when you bring them back in. Okay, I think that's most of the black brought back in for now. Obviously I want to colour other things around it without having any smearing and stuff, so I'm not going to do that. With the black eyebrows needs to be dark hair. Not necessarily. I don't know. I could still layer some brown over those eyebrows anyway to soften the colour a little bit. I'll see how we go. What was I going to do now? Oh yeah, the highlights. So I've got the Posca. Now I've got to try and figure out some good highlights for this. So, oh, you know what I need to do quickly as well? Just put a bit of grey on the eyeballs. I'll tell you what this is. It is 30% French grey. I've just pulled it out. I didn't know which one it was. Put some grey on the eyeballs just to give them a little bit of dimension, I suppose. So I sort of do it dark at the top and then fade it down a little bit. What else do I have? What's this one? I've got the 70%, but I don't really want a French grey. I wanted like a warm grey, but it'll do because they're only little spaces. Just a little bit of 70% right at the very top. just to give them a little bit of shading, these eyeballs. Morning from Australia. Hi Lisa, thank you for joining. We're finishing up pretty soon, but hopefully you'll be able to watch back or what have you. Right, so let's blend that out a little bit with the white. See how I get distracted? I'm trying to do one thing. Okay, right, highlights. So let's have a big dot there and a big dot there. And then maybe no, I don't know. I've got to think. Most of the time I do big dot, little dot, like that. So just like offset on the eyes. But then I also do a little bit of a very fine, that's not very fine, Claire, line, kind of cresting over the eyeball. I'll try that again this side. Oh dear, it goes a bit wonky sometimes, you've got to be careful. Kind of like that, and then sometimes I'll do, in fact I've got a smaller white for that. Where is it? This is one my friend sent me from America. It's the Pilot Juice 0.5 white, and it's not as opaque of a white as the Posca. It's quite translucent actually, but it is quite good for little details like this, where the Posca's maybe just a little bit too big. So we'll just add some little sparkles onto the eye there. And again here. Maybe just a little bit of a line. I don't know, I'm probably adding too much now, to be honest. A little bit of a line here as well. What's that? That's okay, I think. Just let's see if I can just very slightly use the edge of this Posca. Look how much comes out though, that's the only thing. Oh, it's still. I'll leave that for a second. I'm just using this. I should be using a colourless blender actually, just to tidy up that white because it's a bit too thick. There we go. I use pale pinks and pale blues in the eyeballs. Oh yeah, that's a good idea, especially in the corners, like the inner corners. If you use a little bit of pale pink, in fact, I might have a bit of that. Let me see, what's this one I've got? So I've got the blush pink. You can just put a little bit of this in the corners of your eyes. This usually works better with eyes that are like more realistic. You know, Hannah Lynn's characters are not realistic really, but if you just put a little bit, just a little tickle of it in those corners. And then if you've done too much, you can always use a white pencil, especially like the Derwent white, Chinese white, because that's nice and opaque and it will cover up a multitude of sins. If you've done too much pigment somewhere, you can always just wash it out a little bit with the white. I was saying earlier I didn't know about whether to do a little bit of blush on the cheeks, very, very slight bit up in the corners. I think I might do, you know. What colour did I say? Actually, I want to go over here more than anything. Maybe a bit of henna. or mahogany. Mahogany's too bright. Raspberry or henna. Raspberry or henna. Let's try henna. If I can find it, that is. I've not got my pencil case with me, so I'm just sort of looking what I've got. Rosy beige, mahogany red, magenta. Every colour that I don't need. What's that? Oh, magenta. Let me see. Oh, here's a raspberry. Right, let me sharpen it. Anyone else stop breathing watching this? Right, I don't want this to go wrong, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to use the absolute lightest touch that you've ever seen with this raspberry. Just the lightest touch, it's barely on the paper. And I've already gone into the eye. So just a little bit on top. You can barely even see it. Do a bit on this side. Looks as if the white in the left is a bit too far down, or am I seeing it the wrong way? The white in the left. The white in the left. Of the left eye? I don't know, I'm not sure what you mean. Or do you mean the white of the cheek? Or the lightness of the cheek? Because you could be right there, but... Right, so I'll put some of this raspberry very, very lightly over the edges, but it does need to be blended. You can't just leave it like that. So I've got the beige. The white in the left eye. It might just be the light. Let me bring it to the camera. Because there is quite a bit of a gap between the eyelash, or, you know, this long eyeline and the white. Maybe it's just the trick of the light, maybe. Right, so I've got the beige. I'm going to go over this raspberry, because I really don't want it to be obvious. I just want it to be a slight hint of blush. But I don't want to get rid of it altogether, so I'm just using this beige really lightly again over the raspberry. Concentration, the silence. That's pretty blendy. It might not make a huge difference, but I just feel like it does. Okay. So I'm not going to bother with the lips. I was going to come in and put a bit of raspberry on and do the lips that colour, but I do want to see what I'm going to do with the hair first. So we'll do that next week when I've had a bit of a practice on the iPad. Let me just pop these back. Okay, third try. The Posca line in the left eye is not following the eyebrow like it does on the right eye. You mean this line, right? Not following the eyebrow. Do you mean like right here? on, let me zoom in again. So we're talking about this line here. I think it's just because I've done it wonky, to be honest. I think I've made it wonky, that's all. I probably could scratch it out and do it again. But I don't know. I might do it next week. I'm at the point of I've finished this week now. And it's 9 o'clock anyway, so that's good. I wasn't even keeping an eye on the time. So that's fantastic. So that's what we've ended up with. If I turn the light off now, it's probably going to be way too dark to see anything. But we'll try it. Yeah, it's pretty... Mind you, it's not too bad on my camera. But yeah, anyways, put the light back on. So yeah, thank you again for joining me on another Tuesday. I look forward to it every week, even though this one I was kind of dreading it because of the skin, but it's worked out okay. So thank you again for joining me. I hope you have a brilliant week, and I will see you again next week, next Tuesday at 7 p.m. to carry on, and we'll be doing, I guess we'll be doing the hair and the garments and whatever else we can do in the time. So yeah, brilliant. Just reading the comments. Thank you so much. Oh, Kim, thank you. That was a wonky one. Yeah, it's a wonky line. Right, brill. Okay, see you next week then. Have a great week, and thank you for joining. Bye.